Because of the pandemic, more states are moving towards mail-in ballots, and that has sparked lawsuits. One side of the issue says mail-in ballots are ripe for voter fraud, while the other side says they improve voting access for people of lower income. During a pandemic, the likes of which hasn't been seen in more than a century, mail-in ballots could be a linchpin of the 2020 elections. A handful of states plan to send absentee ballots to voters before the primaries, many of which were delayed because of the COVID-19 outbreak. That plan may be expanded to the presidential election in the fall. Before the pandemic, 34 states and Washington, D.C. allowed absentee voting by mail. In the other 16 states, voters had to provide an excuse for why they can't vote in person. Coronavirus is one of the accepted excuses for some of these states. However, that's mostly for the primaries. It could be extended to the November election. Only 5 states, all in the South, have not taken action to expand vote by mail. Some states, including Oregon and Washington, said they'll conduct their elections entirely by mail. In California, 2/3 of voters voted by mail before the pandemic. The state wants to move to an all-mail-in system in November, but lawsuits are trying to stop that from happening. The Spanish influenza pandemic of 1918 also affected an election. The second wave peaked in some regions during October and November of that year, around the time of the midterm elections, November 5th. Voting went on as some states advised people to wear masks to the polls and not congregate before or after, an early version of social distancing. The Spanish flu pandemic killed about 600,000 Americans when voting by mail wasn't an option.